Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Mood616 here, and yes, welcome back to part number 16, or shelf number 16 of my DVD and Blu-ray shelf-by-shelf overview series. And since we are done with the standard stuff, now we're getting into the sorted companies and, companies that I do collect. So we'll start off here with, we got some Black Fawn, and we got some Danger After Dark, and then we've got the Wild Eye, which I do not collect Wild Eye, I just have a shitload of them, but I'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, this is just what I have up on this shelf anyways, and then we'll continue later on with, as you guys can see, into the other companies here. But here we'll start with the Black Fawn distribution stuff. First up here we got If a Tree Falls. This is basically one of those kind of typical, friends traveling or camping in the woods type deal, and they start getting fucked with some backwoods hillbillies, and shit doesn't really go as planned, for the campers and shit like that. It's kind of one of those type films. So, it's actually not a bad film. It's not too bad. So yeah, If a Tree Falls, pretty good stuff. On the indie level, then we got Devil's Night here. Sorry about the glare. This one's actually starring Daniel Harris. It is a Halloween type slasher film. Very kind of stereotypical storyline. If you guys want to possibly read that or pause that or whatever. But that's your breakdown of the film right there. It's, yeah. It's kind of trying to do this type 80s thing and stuff like it's actually not too bad from what I remember. It's been a while since I've seen this one, but yeah, that one's got Daniel Harris in it. It's not too bad though. The Legend of the Psychotic Forest Ranger. Now, this film right here, I reviewed actually a few years back, and I didn't really care for it upon first watch, and I have watched it since, and I actually liked it a lot more. I think I might have watched this one when I was in a really bad mood, but this is, an 80s throwback slasher film, obviously a slasher film. Horror comedy, it's got a lot of ridiculousness, plot holes, and it even tells you right up on here. Full of plot holes, cheesy dialogue. Yeah, it's pretty much what you're going to get. A lot of funny references and things like that in this one, but it's not too bad though. It's not too bad. Some of the kills were better than others, but that's just the way it goes. In the House of Flies here, this is actually, these are all number 2 by the way, so this is number 4. The other ones are obviously in sequence. In the House of Flies is kind of like an isolated horror film, basically about this dude that kidnaps this couple. And they wake up in this locked up type bunker thing, and he starts to fuck with them a little bit and shit. Actually, a really good film. I really enjoyed this one. If you enjoy these one setting type films, check out In the House of Flies. It was really good, actually. Pretty good stuff. Good end. It had a really good end to the film. Then we got Disco Path here. This is a really fun one, actually, about a guy that I think it starts out in New York, and then he ends up fleeing to Montreal. So this film actually is like a French-Canadian film, so it is subtitled. But about this guy that starts going crazy after he hears disco music. It's set in the 70s and shit like that. And yeah, he just goes fucking nuts from disco music, which theoretically should happen to a lot of people because disco sucked. So, yeah, Disco Path. Pretty fucking cool premise, actually. I like that film. Pretty fun stuff. Then we got Silent Retreat, which is number 6 here. This one right here, pretty interesting. In a sense, I would say probably a little bit too predictable for my liking. But the premise is alright, though. It's about a rehabilitation center in the middle of this isolated woods, run by this very strange doctor and his family. And so all these, kind of kids and stuff are put there to get rehabilitated from their crimes and things. The thing is, you can't talk in this place. You're not allowed to talk. So that's why it's called Silent Retreat. And, some crazy shit starts to happen and things like that. And characters are wondering why this place is as strange as it is and shit. It's not bad. I actually kind of enjoyed this film for what it was. It was very atmospheric, shot very well. I thought it was acted pretty well too. For not really having that much dialogue in it, because it's Silent Retreat, but pretty good stuff though. And then we come to The Door. This one is fantastic. Really enjoyed the hell out of this film. Yeah, it's basically about this dude that's unemployed. He takes this job for big time money, working this shift where all he has to do is sit at this desk in a uniform and watch this door. Just make sure that the door does not open. Of course, he has some friends come to visit him, and that rule is broken because they get curious and they open up the door, and then shit goes crazy. It's a really good psychological type film. Very, very well shot. Very, very atmospheric. Also, very good atmosphere in this film. But it's interesting, man. This is definitely one of those films that you can watch a couple times. Probably get a few more things out of it each time and stuff. Highly recommend The Door. It's awesome. Really good film. And then we got the newly released Antisocial 2. Haven't even showed this an update yet. I just got this. I have not watched it yet. Obviously, this is directed by Chad Callahan, who I actually just recently met at HorrorCon. I ran into the Black Fawn guys. They weren't even supposed to be there. They came to do like a panel Q&A type thing. So I met him and Chad Archibald and stuff, and got the lowdown on Black Fawn, which is really cool because I'm a big supporter of the company. So, but I did like the first Antisocial. I will say that. I reviewed it on the podcast. Thought it was actually pretty cool, man. You know, kind of one of those newly designed technological horror films about what happens if Facebook was infecting people, or so I can't remember exactly the whole plot to it, but something to do with Facebook infecting people and making them into crazy people and shit. But yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this one out, so that's pretty cool. That was number 10. The other DVDs are actually in number for these Blu-rays, which is Horsehead. This is just a fantastic French film. Really amazing visuals. It's psychological nightmare. It's pretty much what I can, you know, kind of describe it as. It's a psychological nightmare. Really well shot. Thought it was acted pretty well. Another one that, you know, you could probably watch a few times and sit there and analyze the shit out of it and probably pull different theories and things out of it and stuff. It's definitely one of those heavily psychological driven films that can really kind of fuck with your head a lot. This was a limited Blu-ray of it. Very awesome. This was also released by Artsploitation, which I have that Blu-ray also. So I loved Horsehead, man. Check it out. One of my favorite films of the last few years. Visually stunning. Very, very cool stuff. And then we got Chad Archibald's Bite. This was also released by Scream Factory. I picked up the Black Fawn Blu-ray to support them since they are independent. And this is kind of an interesting film. My first watch this one, I was like, damn, what the fuck? Kind of watched it in and out, rewatched it, and actually enjoyed it a lot more. There's a lot of cool subtext in this film too. Basically about this girl that ends up getting bit by this, I don't know, kind of unknown insect or whatever, and then she starts turning into that insect and laying all these crazy eggs. It just gets really, really fucking nasty, but there's a lot of subtext in the film too, which I think is pretty cool. It's not really hard to figure out what Chad Archibald is trying to say in this film, but it is very heavy on the grossness. If you're like myself and gag when seeing pus and things like that, then this one is definitely going to do a number on you, because it's gross. It's gross, but I enjoyed Bite. It's good. And that is it for the Black Fawn. That's every release that they've released to this date. So basically 10 DVDs, or 8 DVDs, I guess, and 2 Blu-rays kind of thing. Yeah, so that's pretty cool, man. Support Black Fawn. They're a really awesome company out of Canada. And Chad Archibald, very cool guy, man. Very cool guy. So let's get into this Danger After Dark stuff. This company right here, I kind of dub as the cheaper version of like a Mondo Macabro. These guys release more modern day films. I'm like, Mondo is mostly known for releasing, you know, older type cult films from around the world, very obscure type things. Danger After Dark was doing the same thing. They would go around the world and find films and release them, but more on a modern level. So starting out here, this movie Evil, or Tukako. It's a Greek zombie film. This is from Greece. Fucking awesome shit, man. It's been a while since I've actually watched any of these Danger After Darks, but I really enjoyed the shit out of this one. This one surprised the hell out of me. When I first bought this film, I actually thought it was going to be animated, just by the cover. I mean, it's not like that big of a surprise why I would think that, because I didn't really know much about it. I just knew it was Danger After Dark, and I was kind of digging the label and stuff, but this was a big surprise. It was really fun. It was funny, and it had lots of gore and shit like that. So I really enjoyed the shit out of this one, man. But yeah, that's Evil. Fucking cool film, man. Check it out. This one right here is, I think, the only American one that I actually even own. I pretty much have most of these releases. but I think this might be the only American one, and it's called Rapturus. Basically about this white rapper that starts taking like these mind-altering drugs to kind of, you know, help his career out and shit like that, which doesn't really work out so well for him, because he starts having these murderous visions, and it gets all psychological and stuff like that. And now he's trying to figure out if it's actually him doing these murders or if he's just visioning them, and it just kind of spirals out of control from there and stuff. It's not a bad film. It's just, it's a little bit funny and kind of corny in places and stuff, from what I remembered. And I remember the ending being kind of ridiculous too, but we got Debbie Rochon in this one right there. Kind of cool. But from what I remember, it was worth the spin anyways. So not really every day you come across hip-hop related horror films, I guess. I don't know. But then we got Sion Sono's Strange Circus. This is probably... oh, this movie is fucking fantastic. I don't really want to say too much about this one. Kind of going into this one blindly is your best option, really. It's a very psychological driven film with a lot of fucked up shit going on that one, just put it this way. Just the whole incest things that are going on and things like that. Yeah, it's very... hallucinatory reality is, you know, kind of what you're getting yourself into with this one, but there's a quick little breakdown if you want to pause that and read that. But yeah, man, this is a good damn film. Strange Circus. Oh, Sion Sono, man. This guy does some really incredibly odd films. Very, very well shot, very well acted, but it's just, it definitely won't be for everybody. It might be a little bit too fucked up, but I don't know. Strange Circus, you got to give that one a shot. It's really crazy. Feed, which is from, is this an Australian film, right? Yes, origin Australia. I love how they even have like nutritional fact thing on the back here. I am not joking. This movie right here, Feed, is the most disgusting movie in the history of cinema. Now, I know that's saying a lot, but for myself, this is the most disgusting movie ever made. It is fucking gross. It is, the short and long of it, it basically is about these people that pay to see these obese people eat themselves to death. I think they're taking bets on when these people are going to actually feed themselves or eat themselves to death. And I think that's kind of the general premise of it. And I think there's like a cop trying to figure out what the hell's going on and stuff. But there's just a lot of fucking scenes in this film where it's like really, really heavy obese people. Like, I mean, I know I'm not the skinniest person in the world, but I'm anorexic compared to some people in this shit, man. It is gross. Watching people, especially hugely obese people, stuff their faces to the point where it's making you gag is disgusting. It is gross. I love this quote that this actually makes you like cross-supersize me with Silence of the Lambs. It's a great quote. But that's all I'll say, man. It's gross. It's really, really nasty shit. That's an interesting one from Australia. Don't hear many people talk about that one, which is probably for good reasons, because people are probably ashamed of it. This is a South Korean film called Epitaph. This is a really, really interesting film, too. Set in a hospital, I believe. Man, it's been a while. Yeah, set in a hospital, and it kind of follows like all these kind of different... It's not a anthology film, but it's got like all these kind of different kind of stories that are going on within this hospital and shit like that. Apparently, I picked this up at Amoeba. Didn't take the sticker off. What did I pay? $5.99. Damn. At Amoeba, that would have been in San Francisco. Yeah, this one was really fantastic too, man. These Southern Koreans, man, they know how to make some damn films. But check out Epitaph. I love these hospital settings too, man. I'm a big fan of hospital settings in films. Loved it. Really good shit. Hell's Ground. Here's an interesting flick. This is Pakistan's first slasher film. Yeah, pretty cool stuff, man. You know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre versus Dawn of the Dead. The storyline, I think, is very stereotypical. It's kind of a group of people, van breaks down, then they start getting picked off one by one. But this one does have some twists and turns. I think it's pretty interesting. You can probably tell by the quotes and shit. But it's got some real nasty gore, and this one surprised the shit out of me. I was expecting it to be pretty fucking bad. Just, I don't know, there's something about the cover. I was like, yeah, I gotta check that out because it looks terrible. But that's what I love about blind buying films, is that you blind buy a film that looks like this, expecting it to be kind of shitty, but this is one of the first Danger After Darks I picked up too, so I wasn't really overly familiar with the label. So I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but this one surprised the shit out of me, man. If you like your slasher films, and kind of, well, obviously foreign, so they have a different take on it and shit, so Hell's Ground, man. Fucking awesome. Really, really fun shit. And then we come to the batshit insane Meatball Machine, which I believe is Japanese. Yes, this movie is, all I gotta say is just fucking watch it. as the horror man would say, just fucking buy it. This one is fucking crazy shit, dude. It's so on a different level of splattered, crazy Japanese, fucking insane. It's like these alien parasites that are coming down. I can't remember exactly the full storyline, but this I just remember this one being a ball of fun. It is ridiculous. It's kind of like sci-fi craziness horror. It's nuts. That's all I'll say. Crazy. Meatball Machine. Check it out. The Living and the Dead. Now this one I really enjoyed too. I think this may have been one of the first ones that I picked up. Didn't really know what to expect from it. This one's, on the same type of psychological type horror drama type things and stuff like that. Here's the storyline. I just feel like I'm making these videos so long by talking about every single storyline. So if you guys want to, sorry about the camera movements here. My arm is killing me. I was playing baseball yesterday. My shoulder hurts. But yeah, this one, really, really good stuff, man. It's different. It's different. I've heard people say they didn't really care. Oops. Dropped it. But yeah, The Living and the Dead, give it a shot, man. It's a pretty interesting film, man. It's pretty disturbing, actually. I really enjoyed this one. Gutterballs, of course, we all know Gutterballs, man. Slasher film set in a bowling alley, which is pretty damn original in itself, man. The kills are all really nasty, gory shit. I mean, we all know that. Ryan and his wife Megan are both effects artists, so the effects are going to be awesome in this one. I think it did set a world record for the most times the word fuck was used in a film or something like that. It was crazy. Awesome, man. Gutterballs, signed by Ryan. Just an amazing release. So, but yeah, Gutterballs. Everyone needs to check that one out. Then we got Moonchild. This one, this is kind of like an action vampire type film. It's pretty fun, actually, man. I really enjoyed this one too. Definitely different from all the other releases. And this one is also a Japanese film, I believe. Yeah, this one is long. That's right. I remember this one being super long. But yeah, here's the breakdown. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one, man. You don't get to see a lot of films like this, these action type horror, vampire type films and shit, meshing genres and shit. I enjoy that, actually. I know a lot of people don't, but it's interesting to see it every once in a while. And we got 2LDK. This film right here, man. It's kind of like, I don't know what to compare it to, man. In a sense, it's like a Japanese single white female type deal, but not really. It's basically about these two struggling actresses that are living together and shit, and then it just goes insane. It just goes fucking insane, man. And this is a great quote. Sick and twisted, yet disturbingly hilarious. I will admit, there were some parts in this film that had me in stitches, man. I don't know what it was, if it was intended to be funny, or I don't know, man. This one was pretty funny, though. But pretty twisted and fucked up film about these two characters that are fucking struggling for primacy. It's pretty funny. So that is going to do it for the Danger After Dark releases. I think there might be one or two more, but I'm pretty sure that's all of them. I don't know whatever happened to that label from TLA or MVD or whoever was fucking putting them out, but the Danger After Dark label, don't know. If someone knows, let me know. I just never really looked into it, but kind of a shame because I really like these world type films, man. The foreign stuff is awesome, so... Alright, so with that said, getting into the Wild Eye stuff here, we'll start out with Caesars and Otto's Deadly Christmas. Yeah, it's basically kind of a spoof type comedy horror film set on Christmas. That's pretty much all you need to know with this one. Joe Estevez is in this film. It's so fucking ridiculous. Sienna Quigley has a quick cameo, Felicia Rose, things like that. I think Cool Duder's even in this one. Brink Steven, yeah, actually it even says Sean C. Phillips. Wow, his name's actually in the credits. Debbie Rochon, just a lot of ridiculousness going on in this one. I actually really enjoyed the shit out of this one. It's actually quite funny. A lot of, you know, as stupid as the film is, I thought there was a lot of smart jokes in this one too. It can get pretty silly, but you know, it's not so bad though. But yeah, here's the breakdown of it. You guys want to read that, but pretty fun, I will say. And then we got Cesar Nado's Paranormal Halloween, again on the same level. It's just a Halloween film. Again, really funny. I think I didn't care for this one as much as the other one, but this one's got a lot of the same people in it, man. Like Tiffany Shepis is in this film. Brinke Stevens is also in, I think it's Brinke Stevens right up there actually. Felicia Rose and things like that. But here's the breakdown. Yeah, I mean, look what it's doing right there. You know, hilarious horror-paced homage to classic The Exorcist, Amityville Horror, Sinister, Insidious. Yeah, it's more of a spoof. It's just like Deadly Christmas, but you know, they throw in their own little jokes and things like that. It's fun. I had a lot of fun with that one too. Then we get to Morbid. Now, I don't want to offend my man Chuck, because I'm a big fan of Chuck Connery. He is a writer for zombiesdon'trun.com. He's got his own YouTube channel and stuff. He's got multiple podcasts. I like Chuck, man. He's a good guy. I watch his YouTube channels and things like that. But he's also a director. Now, with that said, I will not say that this was good, because I don't suck people's dicks. In fact, this was really, really bad. I mean, morbid is probably a great word to describe the film. I honestly, I could not follow... I shouldn't say follow, but the characters in this film were getting on my nerves to the point where and I'm that type of person where I need to finish films. I really do need to finish films. And so I watched the whole thing, but it wasn't for me, man. The cover is amazing. It's awesome. But, you know, with that said, I know he just put out a new one, and I'm really actually looking forward to checking it out too, but Morbid, not my thing. Really, really not good. Absolute Zombies. This one is just absolute shit. And this is actually what got kicked me off the Wild Eye screenings. They used to send me some films to review, and I reviewed this one. I think I gave it 2 out of 10. And the PR guy, he actually sent me an email screaming at me, like, how could you give a review like that? And I said, well, do you want me to fucking lie? And I was kicked off for a second time. So, this movie is really one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Like, the effects, just everything about this movie is so fucking bad. And it's the thing that pisses me off about this film. It's like kind of trying to be not that bad of a film, and that's what made it even worse. So, Absolute Zombies, really fucking bad. This is probably one of the coolest releases that Wild Eye ever did, was Bread and Circus. This is a film that was supposed to come out in the early 2000s, I believe 2003 or 4 or something like that. And for whatever reasons, it didn't come out. It is from... Shit, man, where the fuck is this movie from? Norwegian. It's Norwegian. So it's from Norway. And this one was supposed to come out from somebody here in Region 1 in North America, and it never came out. Kind of forgot about it, and then I heard Wild Eye was released, and I was like, oh my god, Bread and Circus is finally coming out. Because I remember reading about it and just hearing like it was just batshit insane. Well, it is batshit insane. This movie has it all. I don't want to... I will say it has probably one of the most disturbing and sick scenes I've ever seen in my fucking life. It's just... It involves a dude shoving a bottle in his asshole, like, for real. And there's, like, shit. And it's fucked up. But, like, the earth giving birth to people, and... There's lots of craziness going on in this one, but it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I absolutely love Bread and Circus. I think it's great, man. It's definitely one of those films I can't see too many people giving a shot to, because it is, it even disembowelment and goat poop. Yeah. Because it's on this Wild Eye Raw line, which was like really independent type stuff, but Bread and Circus, man, give it a shot. It's awesome. I really enjoyed the shit out of that one. All American Bully, pretty self-explanatory what this one is. I reviewed this film. I think that it's pretty average, to be honest. I didn't hate this one as much as some people, but, you know, I really wanted to like this one because I thought maybe somebody would make a decent film about bullying and things like that. But it became a little bit too predictable, and a couple things that happened in the third act, I was just like, eh. But it was pretty average. It was decent. It was a decent watch, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Then we got High 8. This is fucking-tastic. Absolutely love this one. I thought it was really fantastic. Great anthology film from a lot of our great favorite independent, you know, even shot on video directors from the past. We got Tim Ritter, Marcus Cook, Tony Mostrelli. How do you pronounce this? Bonk. Chris Seaver, you know what you're getting yourself into with that one. Todd Sheets, Donald Farmer, Brad Sykes. I mean, you can't get any more classic than a lot of those names in there. That's ridiculous. But man, I had a lot of blasts with this, man. I'm looking forward to the new one that they're doing. I think it's High Def. I think they're calling it or something like that. So that looks pretty awesome, but sorry guys, I'm fucking hiccuping here. But yeah, High 8, man. Fun stuff, man. Really, really good low budget anthology. Then we got Queen Crab. And I will say, this scene on here does not happen. And in fact, I think the breakdown on the back here, which I've been telling you guys to read the breakdowns, I don't even think it's right. I think I said that in my review of this film too, that the breakdown on the back isn't even the fucking storyline. So that's how low budget this shit is. Brett Piper, it's the short and long, it's about a killer crab. So if you're familiar with Brett Piper's work, you know you're going to get yourself into some stop motion animation and things like that. It's kind of too bad that scene doesn't happen because that looks batshit awesome. But no, it's pretty fun actually. I actually really enjoy Queen Crab. It's fun. I mean, Brett Piper's the man. I think Brett Piper's awesome. So that was pretty cool. A Plague So Pleasant. Now here was another really bad joke coming. It was pleasantly surprisingly good. It was pretty decent actually. There was low budget zombiness. Yeah. Have become protected endangered species. Yes, zombies have become protected endangered species. So, yeah, it's got an interesting premise of the film. I thought that, you know, for a low budget film, they did a pretty decent job with what they had, for, obviously for budget, but it was a pleasant surprise, to be honest. This is, you know, sometimes when you have no budget and all it takes is just an original idea, you know, to kind of keep people intrigued. This was good. I enjoyed that one. Good stuff. President Wolfman. Now, this is probably one of the most original films I've seen in years, man. This one's really cool, man. Actually, this film itself it explains on the back here. It says, made entirely from recycled stock and public domain footage with a newly scripted, scored, revoiced soundtrack with enhanced visuals and post-production. You've simply never seen anything like this before. It's totally true. So basically, that's exactly what they did. They took clips from, you know, Werewolf in Washington, which I think they used that's the werewolf that you see in the film, and a whole bunch of public domain films, edited them together and came up with dialogue and story for it, and that's how they did the film. It's kind of all dubbed over and stuff. Very interesting film. It's not perfect. And, you know, it's not even, you know, mind-blowing, but it's still really watchable. I really do recommend that you check this out at least once. It's pretty fun. It's got a lot of funny jokes. It gets pretty campy at times, and it gets a little bit goofy at times too, but just the whole premise of doing what they did with taking the public domain footage and stuff, I mean, you can't get any more low budget than that. But yeah, President Wolfman, pretty fun stuff. Then we've got Scream Park. I think this was the first film that got me in shit with Wild Eye, actually. I did a review for this, and they weren't overly happy with my review. Even though I didn't slam the shit out of it, I think I still might have gave it under 5. I don't know, I can't quite remember. But it's a slasher film set in an amusement park, and it basically came up short for me. I thought the biggest problems with this film is that they didn't even show enough of the actual amusement park. I felt the setting was underutilized in this film to the point where it was making it look like a micro-budget film. I mean, if you're going to do that, I mean, you got to show a little bit more and stuff, but the kills weren't overly great. The killer is not original. The story, the acting, you know, there was just a lot of elements in this film that just were not the greatest, but that is Scream Park. Then we got Jurassic Prey, and again, I'm pretty sure that does not happen in the movie, from Mark Polonia. We all know Mark Polonia from the Polonia Brothers. So, you know, you're getting yourself into some pretty damn low-budget stuff. Jurassic Prey, not the greatest film in the world, but it is a dinosaur film that I actually enjoyed because I'm a big fan of the Polonia Brothers and Mark Polonia's films, you know. It's low-budget trash, but still pretty damn fun. It's good to see him doing something like this anyways, like a creature feature. I thought it was pretty cool, but yeah, that's Jurassic Prey. Alrighty, so continue along here. We've got the Horror Network. This one right here, pretty damn solid anthology film. You know, that's what I'll say about this one. I thought it was pretty good. So, Give this one a shot. What does it have? 5 tails in it. Again, this was another very surprisingly decent film, so yeah, I don't know. It's been a while. I can't quite remember all the stories, but yeah, thought it was pretty good actually. The Last House, this was kind of a weird one. Really, really strange. This one has Jason Mewes in it, Felicia Rose again. Basically about these psychopaths that escape this like mental institution and stuff like that. And they break into this house and they've got all these fucking crazy ass plans for these people and shit like that. I actually thought this one wasn't bad. You know, again, low budget. You know, some of the acting at times is pretty shaky and stuff. Jason Mewes is in the film more than I thought he was going to be. But, you know, again, I think some of the psychopaths in this one were a little bit hard to believe at times. And it kind of undersold it to me a little bit. But, you know, it still was actually a pretty decent film. I won't lie. Then we've got Rebel Scum. I still haven't even checked this out, man. I never opened up this one. The true twisted story of a southern punk band. You know, I'm not like the hugest punk music fan, so I wasn't really overly interested in that one. We got The Hole. Pretty standard stuff. I didn't really care for Hole overly that much. Yeah, here's the breakdown of it. It was pretty standard stuff, man. To be honest, it was quite boring. I didn't really get a lot of enjoyment out of that one. We got Driller, a sexual thriller. This is a early 80s horror porn parody type thing. Yeah, it's an adult film. It's hardcore porn. It's basically what it is. It's horror porn. So here's a little breakdown of what you're getting in there. Don't really need a storyline, do we? But there is one. Back in the day when they used to make porn movies. Actually, made porn movies. Night of the Living Dead Reanimated. Honestly, not really the biggest fan of this the first time I watched it. I've only seen it once. I thought there was a couple sequences in this that were pretty good. It's all Night of the Living Dead, and it's, you know, it's animated, and, you know, yeah, 100 artists, 100 styles. You know, there were some decent ones in this, I will say, but, you know, I don't know, for some reason I just kept falling in and out of this one. It kept losing me. You know, I was interested in some of the sequences, but I don't know, it was okay. Then we got some Richard Griffin here, Frankenstein's Hungry Dead. Fun ass film. It's kind of like House of Wax meets like a mad scientist type film. Here's the breakdown. But if you're familiar with Richard Griffin, man, you know it's going to be fun. It's a modern day Vincent Price. I never noticed that quote on the back. That's funny. Pretty fun stuff, actually, though. I enjoyed it, man. Richard Griffin, good shit. Speaking of Richard Griffin, man, we got the Disco Exorcist. Man, we got 2 movies having to do with disco in here. This is a fucking fun ass film about this fucking basically a big asshole that likes to fucking chuck chicks. Does that to the wrong one, you know, and then she starts to screw with everybody. And then we got some possession involved, and then we got some gore, and we got a lot of fun. This one is a friggin' blast. Yes. Yeah. I think it's totally set in the 70s and shit. It's been a while since I've watched it, but man, so much fun. Really enjoyed the shit out of that one. Then we got another Richard Griffin film here with Exhumed. Shot in black and white. Psychological type film with Debbie Rochon. It's been a minute since I've seen this one, and I'm having problems remembering exactly what this one was about. I just remember it being very, very psychological. Yeah, it even says psychological thriller created in a beautiful Norse style. Yeah, I just remember this one being pretty damn cool. A little bit confusing. Kind of fucks with your mind a little bit. I do need to revisit that one though. But yeah, that one's actually on a revisit list. Ooh, just about did it again. Murder University, another Richard Griffin film. Campus slasher film. That's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the shit out of this one too. Yeah, man. Richard Griffin does the slasher thing this time. You know, he really does come with a whole pile of different types of horror films. He doesn't really stick to one format, one subgenre or anything, but yeah, this one was fun as hell. So I recommend Murder University. I've reviewed this one. It's somewhere on my channel too. Like lots of these films I've reviewed. We got Goth Kill, which I still have not opened, so I cannot tell you what this one's even about. So it looks pretty strange, to be honest, but yeah. Alright, continuing along here. We've got Long Live the Dead. This is a zombie anthology film. that really, really fucking sucks. This is a sealed copy. I had 2 copies, so I gave one of them away. And yeah, I will admit, man, this was really bad. Really, really bad. Stay away from this one. Shitty. Race War, the remake. Fuck, was this ever funny? This is some great blaxploitation type shit that's going on in this one. I actually watched this one when I was pretty messed up one night, so I can't quite remember all the details. I need to rewatch it, but there's the breakdown of it. Yeah, this one, I just remember laughing a lot, but it sounds pretty interesting. I gotta revisit that one. Mold. This was a fucking pretty fun film, actually. Basically about this government that's trying to make like this this new weapon, and this mold escapes and basically starts killing off everybody. Recently, which I will get to this one later on down the road, but this film right here, The Mildew from Planet Xonar. This basically is a remake of Mold from the masters over at Necrostorm, but they incorporated brand new footage into it too and kind of changed around the film. It's pretty fun shit, actually, so I would advise checking Mold out first and then watching that one. Pretty cool. But yeah, Mold was a pretty fun, very, very low budget micro type stuff. This is when Wild Eye actually released some pretty good indie films. This is one of their like earlier releases. As you can see, they used to be, the logo was obviously different and it won't focus, but that's number 18. But yeah, Mold, really good stuff. Check it out. This is an earlier one too, Hog Collar. This is kind of like a mockumentary type, found footage type deal about this punk band. Let me break it down right there for you guys. You guys can see that right there. But yeah, it was okay for what it was. Not too bad. Mockumentary, found footage type stuff. It was alright though. Here's one that I absolutely love, man. The Bloody Ape Super 8 type shot on Super 8 from the 90s, 95 or something like that, or what is it? It says 97. Shit, it was 97. Fuck. This movie feels like, yeah, shot on Super 8 exploitation classic. This one right here, fucking feels like it was shot in the 70s though. It just feels so old. It's so bad, but like this is one of those so bad it's good type films, because I think they were legitimately trying to make a decent film. I mean, it gets silly at times, stuff about this like killer fucking ape type shit, man. It's ridiculous. But I recommend The Bloody Ape, man. This shit was fun as hell. It's so fun. And then we got Dropping Evil. This is probably one of the strangest indie films I've seen in a long, long time. Got Tiffany Shepis in there, Fred Williamson. Pretty awesome stuff. Yeah, it's about these group of campers, whatever, they start taking drugs and shit like that. And yeah, it gets really, really strange with all this like corporation type government shit and stuff. It's really, really strange. Mostly due to the, you know, the drug induced hallucinations and shit, but pretty fucking weird film, Dropping Evil. I enjoyed it though. And then last up for this short little shelf is Secret Santa. I still have not watched this one. I picked it up last Christmas and didn't get around to seeing it, but from what I've heard, it is pretty fucking shitty. So yeah, I generally don't buy Wild Eye releases anymore, but you know, Christmas related slasher films I gotta pick up, so, but I'll be watching that one this Christmas. Give it a spin at least anyways. So that is going to do it for that shelf. Number 16, be on the lookout for shelf number 17, which is going to be the Roger Corman collection. And some various Shout Factory, not the Scream Factory stuff, just the Shout Factory releases. Yeah, all that stuff will be later on down the road, so stay tuned. And as usual, guys, hope you enjoy the video.